Hey, let's check if I have to do any. Hey. Okay, so it seems like I'm online, and yeah, it's really great. So it's Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. But yeah, this week has had some interesting things going on, and so one of the thing that we've been working on is so I guess in spring we're adding a whole lot of new functionality, like in our testing application we're adding the functionality for support to I guess maybe it's a good idea to put your phone on silent when you are doing live videos. Lesson learned. So in the spring we're adding a whole lot of new functionality for testing. So we had a support tool, we added ability to cloud integration testing, we added the ability to not use SAP modules, and a whole lot of user not install anything on the system. So that added quite a lot to our backlog and our technical backlog. We're able to get the features out, and then now we're actually paying the price for it. So this last release or couple of weeks we haven't been adding that many new features, so a lot of what we actually have been delivering here has been this thing about stability, ensuring that it works in customer systems in the way that we wanted to. So we had 3 customers going from the old version to the new one, and they were obviously on different databases, and all of these different production databases had some different bugs in how we were interacting with it, like some names were in capital versus not, and there was some limitations on query size and pulling parameters. So there was a lot of complexity that we had said, well, we'll do that once customers start using these production databases. That time it makes sense to start really ensuring that we can support all of them in the best possible way. So if you're watching live, please post a comment. I would love to hear your take on some of these things. So we're adding this functionality, ensuring that we could so once customers wanted, we could start deploying and testing on these different databases, and obviously all of them have different settings and configuration and challenges, but I think we managed to get them to figure out how the things were working, and a lot of it was getting a lot better. Then we also saw some customers that suddenly had like 1,000+ test messages in one test case, and that was not something we had tested out either. So we had to figure out how to do pagination of a lot of the different pages that we have to ensure that customers can view them a lot easier, instead of having to wait for downloading all of this payload that you would not be needing. So that is a big part of the functionality that we have added here over the last couple of weeks. So it's been kind of frustrating because I have so many cool things I would like to get into the application, but it really doesn't matter if we cannot scale and we cannot support the customers that are doing these migration and ensuring that, hey, we got the data, please help us out with these things. Yes, that is one of the things that we're adding, the ability to scale, paginate pages, and then we had used so previously we were just looking up data into the integration directory to figure out how do all of these things link together. Then in the spring we added the change tracking tool that allows to look at all the different objects, compare them and see what was going on. and we were actually using that also to do synchronization and ensuring that we were adding the modules the right place. And it makes a lot of sense because we then have our internal database. We could query, get the information about where we needed to add the parameters, and it was working really well. And then one of the customers was having like 1,000 plus ICOs, and then we saw a performance degradation that was really bad. So we had to add 1,000 ICOs, and we actually ended up with 2,500 ICOs at the latest count. So we want to make sure that we can support all of these things, and the synchronization didn't take that long time. So before we were using the query API for the integration repository, so the normal API, but a challenge with that is it does not give you any information about which models or what has been changed. Only that we got some amount of we here all the objects. You can then download them, compare it, and see what was going on. So we switched that part to the simple query API, and then we can actually just get a list that says here are the things that have changed since the last time you checked, and here's the object that has been deleted last time. So that really improves the performance of the synchronization and enables us really to figure out how to use this in a lot better way. Yeah, I was complaining at that point in time that we're not developing fast enough, and now I do pay the price. So I see the nemesis. I see the challenge that it would have been so much more fun to be able to deliver all of these new features now. But we still got some time. We still have some functionality, and I'm really happy that we got an application that scales now. So one of the things that we'll be adding next week that I'm looking kind of forward to is now in PI you have the ability to look into the message log. Let me just see if I can show you that actually. If I have the screen on, yes, so I have this one, and let's see if I do have. So in the PI, we have the, what was I wanted to show you? That's just the cool thing about doing live videos. You remember what, forget to figure out what it was you wanted to show. Oh yeah, the message log. So here we have our PI system, and we can then log in, check all the live messages. So if we find a message mapping here, then we can check, hey, we got a message going in here, so we got this one. We can then look at this, so that one of the next features we're adding is we would then look, using this API approach, we would then look into these modules you have added, download the payload from here, because this function was just added a year and a half ago, and a lot of customers is still not up to date on using the latest tools, so that makes it a little difficult for them to test. So once we will be adding this functionality, it will enable our customers to actually use the T tool without having to install patches or anything else on the PI system. It would probably not perform as well, but I guess since this would be happening in the background, it doesn't matter that much. But I'm really looking forward to see how that pans out in any scenarios. And what we have actually done is we have actually just went in and scripted all of these different things. So we would download the message ID from the URL, then you would call this query, and then you'd get this page up. We will then find the payloads that we want to fetch for you, we would switch the tab to the payloads pane. We will click the download page. We will go to the message attribute and see if there's any there, and then we'll download them. And then we'll take the output payload, download all of the attributes, download all of the payload again, and that would be the way we'll approach it. We'll close the page and open a new one. So that's going to be fun to see how that is going to perform. That's actually a feature I'm looking forward to. It's not that complex, but it really adds a lot of stability, or the ability to go back with even earlier versions without having to install anything. So that makes a lot of sense for some of the customers that we have that did not really have the option to upgrade to test out the tool, and did not want to install any of the patches on it. So that would be a feature that we would be adding next week. Hopefully it will work, and without too much rework. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you do, please click the like button, please click subscribe, and I will try to create some more of these live videos where I'll show you a little about my thoughts about what's going on, what are the challenges facing with doing application development, trying to figure out how do we actually put all of the SAP testing, PI testing together in one batch. So click the like. I really appreciate your feedback about this, so do that, and thanks for watching. Let me just check any comments. No, not yet. So we will stop this